Some of you know the church we joined the last 3.5 years went through a split, and it was a denominational political thing that happened with who would be ordained. And so there was a local vote, and a very, very painful split. And we had meetings, everybody had a say. And people really, really, truly tried not to sin toward each other. You know, there was agony. This was a very strong church and had been in existence for 60 years and was very close. And it occurred to me later, and I remember standing up and talking about what is marriage, and what does sex mean. Everybody had 2 minutes, so I spoke to those things in 2 minutes, and I said, we go to the cross together. And it occurred to me later, our mistake was we did not go to the cross together. We went to discussion together. I don't know if that would have changed outcome. That's not the subject. The point is, we went to discussion together instead of, and people had pretty good manners, you know. It was, but it was, so going to the cross together.
Did you agree to disagree or not?
No, there was a vote, because there was a vote to leave the denomination, and it didn't pass by 11 votes. So 2/3 of the people left. So, but the point is, I'm a very stubborn person. And you've heard me say before, I love my ideas, my picture, and I hang on to sometimes I hang on to the kitchen counter getting adjusted, because I have such commitment to my idea before I can go to my husband and this way, mutual submission. Where was I going with that?
Was it the church? Regard with the church, you mean? This?
So getting to that point, leading a client, leading a friend to the point, teaching ourselves to first submit to Christ and do our own repentance so that we can go with a spirit that we are before the cross with the person I have aught with, the person I have a problem with. Maybe it's a workplace thing and I don't like the change. I don't agree with the change. You know, you can over time get yourself fired with having that leak. And plus it impacts everybody. So how do you get to where you are submitted so you can make a decision in a way that isn't violent in some way? So these things are hard. Maturely working together is a hard thing, which is what Paul is talking about.
I find that unity and submission became easier for me when the war inside of me stopped.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How did you stop the war, you and God?
Yeah, it was only me and God.
What were some steps that you can remember? Do you remember any steps?
Well, I think what was the bottom line was that had to reconcile and that I had to accept that God accepts the good part and the bad part of me. I was only able to accept the good part of me.
This is what Chris was describing. In part.
So, and when I saw that acceptance in both, to God they were not this way, this way. To him it was just one. I made that separation.
Right.
So when I came to that unity, and really learned to love myself, way down deep inside, that part that's been hidden. It stopped.
So
It got less, let me say it that way, and eventually comes to a place where it stopped.
So you became unified with God's picture. Chris is talking about a victim blaming him or herself, unifying with God's picture. Whether or not to buy a big screen TV this year is another picture, and there needs to be some unifying. What are some symptoms of disunity? How do you notice if you or someone you see, someone you might know or not know so well, exhibits, behaves in such a way, says something, and it's sort of a symptom of an ununified person?
Impatience.
Aha. Impatience.
Sarcasm.
Ah. Somebody else said?
Anger.
The pronouns change. It's you, I, instead of we, or they.
What kind of behavior might you see?
Withdrawal.
Rolled eyes.
Ah.